Listen, Flash, I'm not dealing with your bullshit today, okay? You're gonna have to take it easy, okay? I'm not gonna do it. Something else. Grown man. My little cat. My little goofy guy. Okay, I want to turn that off. Sure. Should be good. Let's do a little quick check. Just to make sure. Just to make sure things are working. Excuse me, fucking hell. Alright. Testing the sound. Sure. Should be good. Let's do a little quick check. And testing the sound over here. Of course, Switch is super quiet. Super quiet. No, it's not too bad. Oh, okay. Okay. Let's do it. Let's play a little bit. Let's stream some art. Okay, let's go to the overhead. Let's bring my Stream Deck over here. It should actually be over that anyway, so that's fine. Put that there. I'm not going to show my face right now just because I don't feel like setting the camera up over here. We're going to bring the color way down. It's the... There. Hello, there's all my shit. Okay, let's bring this light down just to... Nope. There. It's good enough for me if it's good enough for you. Look at my nasty phone. Look at my nasty phone. Alright. I'm gonna hang that right there. Oh, it's good to see my mixed media stuff. Alright, let's... First things first. I actually don't paint on this surface. But I guess I could start. I guess it doesn't really matter. I can do whatever I want. It's my job. It's my stream, technically. Technically, I'm free and I can find the key. How. Gonna try to redux this back into stuff. This is gonna get hung up over here. Maybe there. How about there? Good. And this up here for now. We are going to do very quick swatches. But I'm not going to swatch on these yet. I'm not ready. We'll use my glass pen though. Let's see here. That's here. I'm going to take this one off. Because she can take a paint spatter if she need to. Normally I don't have inks there, but today I do. Roll that beautiful bean footage. Should I get rid of all those paints back there? What do I have? What are these? What are these? Are these just craft paints? You know, I probably should, to be quite honest. Alright, so normally I would use my roller on this, but I don't know where my roller is. This is my pen thing for my other pen. Put that there. I'm just going to do this. This is a good way to do it. Just use a paper towel and just kind of wipe out the cat hair. Okay. Okay, we're doing pretty good. Pretty good. Did I do art? I didn't do art. What's my game? Makers and crafting. Makers and crafting. Good. Alright, so you like that sound? Now I don't want to break them. I'm not going to play too much. Got a new pen. Got a new pen. One that won't draw. One that will paint. One that won't be in my way. Alright. Let's get... I guess I'll get this out because I'm going to have to do some cutting probably. What's this texture like since I got hot glue on it? It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. So normally I kind of move stuff over. Let me do this. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. I'm happy with myself because I'm working on this mixed media piece, and I thought, you know, it's been a while since I've done googlies, and this could use some googlies because I want it to be kind of whimsical. And where is it? There it is. So I'm going to start with this, which I did the other day. Ooh, that seems very bright. Hold, please. Can I find the right amount? Let me turn off the flux. Okay, that's very bright. Let's do this too. Let's turn down the lights in here. Flip them around and do it. Can you? Oh, you know what I need? I'm going to do this as well. I need bags, and I know where they are now. These double zipper bags. Hell yeah. I'm not going to get the Mylar out right now because I just don't want to. I want to make Mylar bags, but I'll do this because I'm lazy. What now? Okay, that's good. And then we'll do the lights. We'll do the lights, all the lights. Milder neutrals. That seems okay. It does seem... It still seems kind of bright, doesn't it? Okay, that's better. I feel like that's better. This is a lot for me. Maybe it's this one. Maybe I don't need the overhead. What happens if I do it like that? I think that's alright. Is that too dark? Just came back on its own. That's cool. That's normal. That's a normal thing that happens to me, apparently. Let's warm it up and bring it down. About 22%. That feels good. That feels nice. Nice and neutral. This is in my face. Don't need that. Okay, so we have this. Eventually it's going to be 8 by 10, and what I think I might actually do is glue this to a canvas, because then it's easier to sew, because I would also like to add some of those elements. But if I do that, then it's harder to put into a frame. So if I just put it on fabric, that's fine, but then I have to stretch it. So I have to make a decision. So that's gonna go on my list. Let's see here. Let's make a list. And to make the list, let's test my new inks first. So that's what we're gonna do first. I am going to grab a testing book. Smells bad. I love it. Okay. Got 4 Birmingham inks, got 4 Birmingham spots. Perfect. 4 spots. Let's grab some of this just so it's not too... We can also test the water. We can do a water test as well. Alright, this is Tomoe River paper. So, if this ink sheens, which I believe this one does, and this one has sparklies in it, I believe. Sparklies. You know, I told myself I wouldn't buy any more sparkly paint, but it's, you know, actually, it isn't, I think. I think it is something else. Okay. There's that. 1 glass pen, please. 1 glass pen for me. I've got water over here for the glass pen. I have water over here for water-based stuff. And I have my brush cleaners over there, which I will use when I need to. And those have soap in them. Put those up there for now. So yeah, I was going to do some... We can do it that way is more pleasing to my eyes. You know what? It's fine. It doesn't have to stick. I don't need things. Okay, hello. So, all right. I need to make a list, but before I start the list, I want to test these inks. The list is going to be a lot of the stuff that I want to start working on, and I just want to make sure that like all of the stuff that I want to try is here. Also, I have to unbox this pen and put some ink in it. But I might have to fuck with the ink a little bit. I might have to mix some inks together, which I don't normally do, but I know some of my inks will mix. I believe dye mine, and I do have a mixing liquid, so hopefully it only takes 4 of these. First things first, when I do pens, we're going to do 2 of these. Okay, like this. When I'm testing inks, I like to have something to set my pen on, glass pen, because I don't want to fill up my pen with something that I'm not going to use. So. Slither? Nice! Yeah. I'm not very good at Slither. Was it fun? Was it a good time? Was I any good? I probably wasn't. Okay, so now I'm going to take another one of these and I'm going to spritz it with water, and this is just going to be so I can wipe it off. Now, I'm still going to rinse it. Anyway, alright, let's start with the one I want to start with, because this is why I've even bought any more inks from them. Their inks are super expensive, but you get a shit ton of ink. This is a lot of ink. This is so much ink that I can give this to like 5 people and it will last them a lifetime, all 5 of them. I would have to use this ink in every pen for the rest of my life to be able to go through it all. Alright, so this is... I'm gonna, since this is a lighter one, I'll do it over here. So this is Tiger Lily. Now, I know that doesn't look exciting yet. I know what I'm doing, though. Come on, Tiger Lily. Oh, well, you know, get it. Fucking... Alright, so Tiger Lily, and this is glass pen, which I don't need to write because I know. And this is Birmingham Pen Company. Okay, now I'm gonna take this, get any excess off, rinse it over here. We don't rinse it in the glass because the glass against glass makes a big bad sound, and then I have to use another glass pen. Okay, now for the fun part. Now this has to dry, so we'll come back to it. Also, if you're right-handed, this is actually a really good way to write stuff, is to start on one side and then kind of move to the other. Right, instead of the other way. So I'm going to do a little extra so you can see what it supposedly does on Tomoe River paper, which I think I have like some of the last stock in the world of the original. Okay, this is what this is for. I'm just going to set that there because I still need to use the other side of that because I don't want to go in the other room. Now that's going to dry. This is a sheening ink, so it should sheen a little green, and I needed a good orange. Another good orange, because you never can, you know, sometimes you just want, you know, differences. So this is bronze. This is, if I remember correctly, this has a green sheen as well, but the green sheen in this is more metallic. Oh my gosh, it's straight up green. Oh wow. So it is bronze technically. So interstellar bronze. You know I want it if it talks about space. Pew, 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 pew. Have you been having fun with your pens, Tiffany? All right. Rinse this one out. Do a little wipey. And then let that one dry a little longer. So I'm going to do this. Oh, that's fine. I want to let this, oh, that's going to be so pretty when it dries. Love a good sheen. All right, let that dry. I might end up putting that one in my pen. So I have this pen. I think it's a Conklin. Conklin. Hello, pen? Hello? Oh, there's part of it. Whole giant pen missing. Can I have? Is it back there? Nope, that's just a fucking. I just had this fucking pen. Where did I put it? Where did you go? Did you end up with my other pens? Let's find out. This has to dry anyway. Pens are sitting on my mushroom. Shitting on my mushroom. Pens are shitting on my mushrooms. Pens. I love that I have like $1,000 worth of pens in here, and I'm just throwing them around. Okay. Whatever. I use them. That's the point. Okay. So this is a pen I bought a while back. It was on sale. I've already scratched it up. I don't care. Anyway, the point is, it's like it's kind of shiny and fun. The problem is my hands are not that strong. And so I like to post my pens for the counterbalance, but this one I can't post. So I also don't prefer piston fillers like this. I like piston fillers, just not like this. Not like this. But I can write with it if I hold it like this. But I thought this might be good for this pen. I don't always match my pens to my inks, but if I have something kind of fun that I think will go together, I'll do it. Ooh, that's cool. I never noticed that on the back. How's that like a ring? Very pretty. Pretty, pretty, pretty. Anyway, I love the way this looks. I just don't like the dealio. Okay. Now, Glass Blower's Flame is another specialty one. I believe this was one of those like bluey purple ones. It could be wrong. You can look all these up on their site too. This one actually I have in a pen, and it's probably my favorite ink from them, even though it's just like a dark green, like blackish green. I would almost say like this color is the color of if you took toasted seaweed and mushed it up into like an ink. It's very pretty, and it's a very nice wet consistency. It's always wet in the pen, which is super nice. I write all those words. You know how I write the words with like different letters when I'm practicing my handwriting? That, where is that? I think I have some of that over here. It doesn't matter. That is what I do with those. Okay, time for the next color. It's Glass Blower's Flame. I'm gonna do this just in case. Okay. I believe these are all sheening inks. I don't think there's flake in any of them. I thought there was originally, but no, I think it just sheens a metallic because I said I was gonna stop. The thing about the sheening inks is usually how that works is that they pack the ink in there so that the pigments lay against each other, which means that there's enough ink inside of it that it will be quite heavy in your pen and it can gunk it up, which that's okay. I don't have a problem with that, but you gotta clean it out more often. Watch this. I can just move my hand this way. Yeah, baby. Okay. See how wet that still is? So this is hydrophobic paper, kind of. It's Japanese hydrophobic paper, so if there's a sheen, it will show. It takes a very long time to dry because of that. Gonna clean off my pen, and I'll see you again. Gonna clean off my pen for you, dear. Oh, it's so pretty. I don't need any more blues. Do I have any blues? How much blue do I have in pens right now? You know, I should do a, a watercolor test at the edge of these just to see what it blends out into, but I can do that later. It's so pretty, right? But as these dry, like I said, you'll start to see the things happening with them that can happen. Likely won't get a lot of shade. You can see some of the shading in this, like it's starting to turn. The sheening, rather. Not shading. So shading is when it'll blend out nicely as you write with it. This one does seem to shade and sheen though, so that's cool. Which means that if you put it into, say, a pen that had like a nice nib change. Let me put my hand in there and clean my fingers up. Let me put my hand in there and clean my fingers up. Now I do know what this color is, but I do like it anyway. I love this color, and I don't know that I have a test of it. So one of the reasons that I bought this again is because this company really likes to make their stuff not available anymore. So this is basically like a super dark green teal. Let's do... They really like to make limited edition stuff, and then they don't tell you which ones are limited edition, and then they don't have them anymore. So I have 5 colors by them that aren't made anymore. I don't want this to not be made anymore, and I looked it up. A lot of people have this complaint about them, but also a lot of people really like this color specifically. There's one I really like called Starfruit, which I think I know why they don't make it anymore, and it's probably because not that many people bought it. It's a very light color. All right. I guess it's more blue than green. I think it depends on the paper. You know, teal's my favorite color. I mean gray, technically. Oh my goodness, look at that. It's starting to sheen. You can see how it kind of looks metallic. That's sheen. This one will eventually sheen a little bit. See how it's starting to sheen? And I don't know if you can see that, but it's starting to turn a little green. There. So when that dries, that'll probably sheen. But this has a tiny bit of sheen at the edges. You can kind of almost see it. It's hard to see just because of the way lighting works. Yeah, you can see it really well on the bronze. Man, I kind of want to put that bronze in there. It's like pukey color, but also it's kind of cool, you know. This one will become reflective, and I think it's going to reflect red Either red or purple. I think it's purple, and I don't think I have very many that shine purple. I can show you one that has a really cool sheen that I love. I have it in a pen. It's called Quantum Teal. Oh yeah, so there's Starfruit, the one that I really like that they don't make anymore. And then Quantum Teal, see that's like a deep grayed out teal into a sheen. So I'm gonna let these dry. And then we're gonna do a little testing with my pen. We're only gonna fill with one color. Do I want to fill with Blower's Flame, or do I want to fill with Tiger Lily yellow? Just like draw something and then paint it, or do you want me to put the browns in the pen? It's gonna be a big fat line. 2 people. Let's vote. Blower's Flame, Interstellar Bronze, or Tiger Lily? Because we're going to play Does That Watercolor? And then I'm going to make my list. Interstellar Bronze. Let's do it! Because that was my plan anyway, so. You agree with me? That's 2 out of 3. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. This is why I don't not ever have. This is why I leave music on. What should I draw? What should I draw? Can I have this? Or do I have to do it this way? Fuck, I hate you. You're not my real mom. This way, if I spill it, it can just be on the paper. Come on, suck it up. Oh, I hate these kind of fillers. I really hate these kind of fillers. I never buy pens with these kind of fillers. No, I don't. Now, the thing I've been doing lately is, I've been kind of, no, don't burp on me. You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to go down the pen. Look at that. Isn't that a cool fucking color? Holy shit, look at that yellowing that it's doing. Oh man, this is going to be really cool. How about, let's do a little cactus with this one maybe. Can you please get in the pen? Go to your home. Fuck you. No burping. I'm trying to push this up into, there we go. You know what? That's enough. I don't need to add more. It's fine. I'm not going to run out of this. Now, so, like I was saying before, there's a bunch of ink in there. There's a bunch of thick-ass ink in there. Sometimes it can separate, so you always want, like when you have a pen like this, you want to do something a little bit. Okay, so, oh my god, this is going to stain my fingers like, whoa. Like, whoa. Alright. Okay, so I am going to post it because I feel like destroying my hand today. Oh my god, that weighs so much. I can't do that. Okay. You know what I did though? A long time ago, I created a counterbalance that looks like a little bone, but I don't think it'll fit on this particular pen. Could I be any messier? It looks like baby diarrhea when it's not pretty. Look at that though. Wait a minute. Oh my god! Oh! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! I'll do Interstellar in another one. I'm so excited. Oh my god, look what I just discovered about my new ink. Live on camera, because I made a big mess of it. This is what it looks like. It's actually called Interstellar Bronze. It's very cool. See, it's like just green. Anyway. Oh, perfect. This will be perfect for my project that I'm working on. Hot drink to go with your cold water. Yeah, I do that too, like hot tea usually. Amazing. Oh, amazing. Perfect. I needed that. Anyway, what I was going to say before I was so rudely interrupted by myself is that, good God, I should check the other ones for that when the thing, is that with an ink like this, when you have a highly shading ink, and it's a thickie, When you start your pen, oh, fuck me. I just need to wipe it off. I forgot to do that. What a day. I did wipe it off. I just didn't wipe it off enough. Yeah, it's Conklin. Yeah, you can tell by the little, there's a little moon on it. See? This one has a bit of that nib that it's not bad. Not like the Narvaler pens. Okay. So when you do have a sheening ink like this, what happens is, if you haven't used it in a while, or even if you've set it down while you're using it, look at that. Can you see it? Bruh. It can get gunky. And what that means is that, like, sometimes it'll get gunky back here and you won't get any of that sheening. And so then you have to clean your pen out too, because sometimes these are also acidic. So anytime you have a highly sheening ink, anytime you have an ink that will dry waterproof or bulletproof or whatever the fuck it's called, they will gunk up your pen. And also anytime you have something that has glitter in it, or anything that's like just a thicker ink, like there's kinds that they're called like eel inks, and those are a lot wetter. But so when that happens, one thing you can do is you can get the laminar flow going on the pen. And I talk about this a lot because a lot of people don't know this, but you can just take a wet finger like this, and you just kind of rub your finger across the top, and that will get the laminar flow going. Now obviously this is a wet pen, but you can usually test it, and if it's a little gunky, you can do that. The other thing you can do is you can hit it with a little water sometimes, and then kind of do one of these. I wouldn't suggest doing that too much, because if you do it too hard, you will probably get ink out of the pen. So just kind of very lightly, and know your pens, because the fatter the tip, the more likely it is to drip. Alright, so let's just start on one of these. Okay. How about, so maybe a little cactus, or maybe, how about just a little kind of pretty plant. Now, this is watercolor paper, so it's not gonna have like a nice, I'm gonna actually be very sketchy with it, because that's, when I do art with these pens, that's usually how I actually do it. What I want to do is make, I don't know much about plants, but I guess it doesn't really matter, does it? You can just make things up. You can make things up when you're doing what you want on your own stream, not getting paid. Alright. Gonna take it very simple to start, and then I'm gonna get one of my super nice paintbrushes so I can fuck it up with all the acid in here. Okay, this is not a paintbrush. This is not a paintbrush. This is a paintbrush. This is not a watercolor paintbrush, so we're okay. This is a gouache or something. Gouache these nuts. I have to have music. I can't, I'm not a normal person. Okay, so I'm gonna just pull this around, and the thing is, I don't even know if this ink will be water soluble actually, for real, like afterward, because like it's not dry yet, right? So I'm pulling it around with the water, and actually it might be dry. So that's probably good, that if I want to use it as an art ink. I don't check if things are water soluble or not until I get them, because sometimes things say they're waterproof and they are lying. They're just straight up lying. Man, that's such a pretty color. It's very vibrant IRL. I wish you could see how vibrant it actually is. It's so crazy. All right, now, if we want, here's the thing about this. I'm using watercolor paper. Watercolor paper is the opposite of hydrophobic. It's a hydro lover. It loves water because it's watercolor paper. Yeah, so I do glow in the dark creatures actually a lot. So what I like to do with that is I use the invisible glow in the dark ink, and then I like to make art that looks like a normal painting, and then I will make it so that when it hits the glow in the dark, that you actually get God, I want to say these nuts so bad. Bring it in. So this is a glow in the dark We'll make it like an aloe. Jesus Christ. So, okay, so what I would do in a normal situation, first off, let's lift that slightly. Wow, let's just see. You can just kind of do a tilt. What I would normally do is if something is that blacklight reactive, I would go back through and I would do some shading so that I could bring the other stuff out, but not shading in a way that would make it like overbearing, that you would notice it. So you wouldn't necessarily notice it like this as much. It would just look like a little bit of shading. I might do it with a color pencil or a little gouache, because gouache has a lot of pigment packed into it, and the gouache will block the light. So actually I can show you. I can show you that one. I got some over here in my palette, in my missing palette that I just set up. I've only used it 2 times. Oh no, it's crooked. Shit. Belinda. Can't have it crooked because it stays wet. In fact, it's called the Stay Wet palette. Alright. So what I can do is take a very similar color. Let me see if this one's blacklight reactive, actually. Let me make sure that none of these are. I'm pretty sure the only Opera Pink is, yeah. So this is the only one that's blacklight, this one is. So these two are blacklight reactive, but more importantly, the green ones aren't. And wow. The green ones can be blended down with white, and the white is actually the thing that's going to make it the least blacklight reactive. So if I take a tiny bit of this and I brown it up a little with opposites attract, 2 steps forward. Now a little more that, and then a little of, let's mix it on the palette. That's what the palette's for. That's what palette's for. And then that is a really pukey color. So orange, probably. A little orange, some orange, you see. And then we'll gringe it up just a little bit more. And then some purple. Now we got phthalo-ish. I can see your phthalo. I might die. I might sing too much and die. Okay, you know I have lessons today. Okay, so this seems alike a lot, I know. But we've got water. See how close that is to that like deep dark color? But what I want to do is I want to take this bright and this deeper color, and I just want to barely shade some of this while it's still wet, and it will blend. Now the only thing is this is going to be super matte, so it'll be very matte, and it will dry slightly differently because it is, I don't remember if that one's acrylic gouache or if it's, I also have like the acrylic liquid paint. I think that's the gouache though. It cost all my money, so I hope you like this little throwaway painting I'm making. Okay, so a little more water. Now I would test this with the black light on. It hurts my eyes, so I can't do it for very long, but I want to do some shading inside. And I like that it's actually a little bit less yellow. And also, I can't really make it the same kind of yellow because the fluorescence is just so crazy, you know? But I can ever so slightly. Can I still pull? Yeah, I can pull a little color there. Just kind of add a few bits of dimension to it so you can see where the areas kind of cross over. What would you say this kind of plant is? I could make it a cactus technically. I do have like some white pens. We do some. It could be the kind of cactus, the stealth kind, you know, where like you don't actually know it's a cactus until you walk up to it and like somebody spooks you, and then you back into it, and then you go, ah, fuck. Okay, so let's see now. Okay, so now we have a lot more dark spots, right? I don't want to do it in the black light. That's always a bad idea. Don't do it in the black light because then you never know what you're going to end up with, and it will look like hot garbage sometimes. I do have some fluorescent yellow paint, but I'm not going to use it because I'm too lazy to find it. It's probably behind this cart, which is heavy and everything will fall right off. I swear it will. Alright, let's do that. Still haven't made my list. Gonna do that next. Do that. And then watercolor. Watercolor. Let's do what is more gridge. Less gridge. Lesser gridge. Let's do a little more of that. And a little more red. So I took the other green cooler and I'm taking this redder because color theory. You can make it more They have like little turns. See? Little turns in the leaves. Little turns in the leaves. So I like to do something like this that's very loose when I'm testing pens because I want it to be like I actually draw and not like... I also want to see the difference in how the pen strokes are because they can be kind of random. And if I'm not thinking about drawing something specific, then I can be looser because what will happen is if I'm trying to test the pens and I draw something that I am like good at drawing at, I'll spend all the time doing that and not using the pen in the way that I should to test the various things. So the other part of this I didn't talk about is I am going to go back with the pen and do more work. It's just not necessarily going to be watercolor. Some of it will be. But when that part dries, that will be waterproof. So let me take a look here. Again. Okay, so I have a lot, there's a lot more there where you can kind of see what's going on and it doesn't just look like a bright light in your face, so that's good enough. For me, it's good enough for juice. Give that a little spritzerino. I got to double sleeve my cards, eventually it's time to do it. Now, one thing I can do, I don't know, let me test this first. So I don't want to make that too wet, but I do want to see how wet we are. How much? Okay, so take a look at that. So we can get dark lines when the pigment packs over the bright, which it seems like, obviously it feels like the color is more water soluble, but also there's no, okay, yeah, that's probably too wet. So let's try one wet. Whoa. Found some. Whoa, wait a minute. Oh, it must have been from like one drop of it. Okay, so now, less wet. Less wet. Oh, hey, hi, thanks for the raid, Lulu. Holy shit, why didn't I hear anything? Oh, things never work. Okay, so this is less wet, which is where we're not there with it. We're there with that pretty much. So it's not as bad. It's not as crazy, right? So I can use it to do the thing. .com. All right, so that's probably where we're at with this wetness wise, is just like a little bit in there. And it's okay if it does do the thing. God, it's gonna be so heavy. Now we know why I don't use this pen. I'm testing out a new ink. Okay, so if I just do that, we can really embrace this color, this depth of this color before I hit it with all that ink. And since I put that lighter, that color that I put in there for the other part to kind of give us some variance, is actually, because it's a red tone, it'll pop this color out even more. So you will not even notice so much of the warmth, because I'm going to put this over it in the darkest spots, and it'll just kind of pull through it a little bit. It's hard to explain. I do my makeup the same way, where I'll put down a base of a color and then kind of not necessarily use the opposite, but do a blend of like a different tone. I'm doing okay. How are you doing, mister? What were you playing? What was it? It doesn't say. Oh yeah, Marvel's Guardian of the Galaxy. Is that a phone game? That extra, I'm just going to pull it off. Let's take a look now, make sure it's not too crazy. Because if I use this paint, I'm probably going to use it blacklight wise, because I actually have some blacklight stuff I want to do. Yeah, so that made it nice and dark. And this time I will do one little line there. Just a little bit. Maybe I'll just do some light scratchies. Oh my god, Flash is screaming. See how dark that is. No, that's nice. So what I'm doing is I'm just kind of barely scratching with the pen and holding it kind of at an angle so that if ink comes out, it's like a very small amount. Which is a little harder with a broad nib. I usually do like thin stuff with a fine or extra fine, but I actually only have one extra fine nib, and I keep a gray ink in it because I use it for drawing when I want something to kind of look like a pencil drawing, but I don't want to use a pencil because of who I am as a person. It's been real goofy today because I decided to stream on YouTube as well because I can save the video a lot easier. And so I can't listen to music, so I just won't shut up. Which is how that works, which is why I listen to music. Okay, so I like this kind of alien feeling plant. Alright, I'm gonna put this away. And since these other inks that I have, I don't have any of them inked up in a pen, I will still use the Tiger Lily, I think, this one. Oh yeah, we should look at the inks and see how they look now. Alright, so we got the Glass Blowers Flames. You can see, let me get it a little brighter in here, I guess. Butts. Not that bright, okay. So you can see the Glass Blowers Flame. It did sheen. It's hard to see. You can see it right there into the kind of purpley red color. And then this one is not a shading ink. This is a shading ink, which means that when you blend it out, it'll look like watercolor. So this is a shading ink and a shading ink, which is possible. But you can see now how it has like just a slight green tint to it. That'll be really pretty for certain types of things, of course. This is the one we're using, which is absolutely insane and partially glows, which is also crazy. So see how I was saying that the part that glows is the water soluble part? Because see, that's what's glowing here. This is the same ink. So that's what happens is the pigments well, the way that the pigments are in the ink, they just lay across each other. And that blocks the light. So it's not that this isn't glow in the dark like this one, or what black light like this one is. It's just that this one is being blocked by the top pigment, because like I said, a lot of times they're a mixture of pigments. So if this is multiple pigments, that's why you want to shake your pen up and you want to lightly stroke it. Okie dokie. Oh man, that's so pretty. I wonder what happens if I hit it with that, just to see if it pulls it up and changes it. Nope, that's dry. Holy shit, that's dry. Whoa. Oh my god. That is crazy. Okay, cool. Oh man, my pen is it's gonna be like oatmeal in there. Okay. I do not like dipping pens because I am a messy person. But I will do it sometimes. I usually knock the ink over. Actually, before I do anything else, let's do this. All right. So let's draw. So before you rated me, what did you tell them? You're like, oh, there's this lady. She's weird and she does art sometimes, and she's doing art today. I never see her doing art anymore. That's what I sound like exactly. Let's do that's enough. Gonna rinse that thing. Before we go, let's check. No, good. Okay. Not that I just didn't. Snakes or improv or nothing else. Okay. You didn't tell him I was crazy. All right. Now this should behave like watercolor. I'm pretty sure this is only a couple pigments, and it's not nearly. I didn't put it on as thick as the other. Uh-oh, that does look kind of bright, doesn't it? I wonder if the same thing's going to happen. That would be crazy, wouldn't it? They're both blacklight reactive, but like the water soluble part is only. Holy fucking shit. You know what's crazy? I bet these are the same pigment. I bet that's what they did. Oh my god, that's insane. Sorry, I love discovering things. That's why I test stuff. Turned out 2 of these have like a double pigment, and they're both blacklight reactive. They're probably the same pigment actually. Come on, Tiger Lily, you're caressing me. He said, I'm sorry you spilled it. I'm glad I spilled it. I might not have known that it was blacklight reactive. Also, I spill everything all the time. Okay, well, let that dry. I might go over it with some color pencil later. Now I can write the list. Alright, so the stuff I gotta work on is... Okay, we're gonna do mixed meat. See? Because I left it just do this. Okay, and then all of that. There's also a trick. So like this, if you have a writing mat, you can use that, or actually like the thing under. You have to be careful that the like a neoprene mat will work too. So watch mixed media. You can press into it a little bit more because you get a lot more surface area when you're pressing into the paper from the nib. So mixed media, we got googly eyes. Where are they? Right here. I got them. One sheet. I'm so happy. It's so funny. I was thinking about this piece I'm going to work on, and I was like, I think I have a sheet of googly eyes somewhere. Too bad I don't know where it is. First thing I found today. That's the best. Okay, so we got googly eyes. We're going to have lots of vellum. Gummy bears. To string. Or not to string. Canvas. Stretch. Okay. All right, what else? So I already tested the ink, and I filled this pen, which is a plant. Oh yeah, special thing. God, what do I call it? Air dry paste. Okay, so that is going to be a demonstration for a friend. And then, okay, we're going to do a paste clay. Now I'm not going to do all this today. Clay. I'm probably going to do this stuff because this is like testing first, because this stuff I am just going to be collecting the things that I need to start working on this, and I haven't made a design yet. I have to choose canvas if I want to stretch it or not, or if I just want to put it right into a shadow box frame. Do I want that or do I want a shadow box? I do need a shadow box either way, but the difference is if I do it on canvas, I'm going to need a custom shadow box. Unless I do it on a canvas that I can stretch myself, but then I have to stretch canvas, which I super hate doing. I could glue it to something, I suppose, but I still have to stretch it. Okay. It's me crying. Okay, paste clay. Okay, I have everything that I need for now. This is gonna, so this does go to the, I bet none of this is, yeah, well, the paper is, so it's hard to tell. Yeah, that's the other thing, is like certain types of paper reflect that real bad, and the only one that doesn't really, oh yeah, that's the other thing I gotta do. Tomoe River testing, blacklight, that's gonna be part of this. Tomoe River. I gotta test at least 3 other papers, but I don't know what they're gonna be yet. I really need papers that don't. I hate that they bleach paper. It's such a pain in the ass because bleach and certain types of pigments will always reflect, and I would just rather not have that. Tomoe River does not bleach their paper, so that's nice. Wow, that looks awful. Wow. Want to see something crazy? I bet this looks crazy. Holy shit. I could probably dye paper with that. Hold up. Hold up. Wait a minute. Maybe I should have put more in there. Do, 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 do. Idea for Halloween. Just let that get on there. It's not very much pigment at all, so that's kind of cool. Oh, that's probably was already on the rag. You know, I'll just leave it like that for a minute. I'll do something with it later. I reuse everything anyway. I'm a messy person, but yeah, I reuse stuff. Oh, that looks cool. So what I'm going to do is, so this, I have that on there already, so I'm just going to take my See, mixed media is perfect for ADHD. So I have my journal here, and I will find a page that doesn't have too many things. There we go. I will take a page that doesn't really have anything on it yet. Oh, see what I mean? Some paper is just out there. A lot of my stuff is blacklight reactive, so you know what? That's good. Okay, let's just pop that ink on there, but I can also test the light fastness of this. That'll be fun for later. And then I won't remember I did that. And I'll be like, who put color all over my page? Let that dry. There's quite a few like hidden things in this little journal that are all, they're not all black light. Some of them are codes. I like making codes. Okay. Yeah, that's fun. Just like a little bit. Just a little bit. I gotta find out what to do with that. There. Okay. Alright. Let that dry and drip. Now we can, I guess, test to see what happens when this gets wet. Will it get wet after it's been dried already? Let's find out. No! Oh, that's going to be good. So it looks like it dries waterproof. That's nice. That's going to be super. No, wait. That's the one I made. Let's try it down here. Okay. Doesn't dry waterproof, but you'll notice I have to work it to get the actual pigment out. Let's see. I'm having to like work it to get the pigment out that isn't water soluble. That'll make a nice way to do it. Nice way to watercolor with it if I decide to do that. But I need to find out. Jesus Christ. Where did that come from? Oh. Welcome to ADHD with Belinda. Let me put my finger in this water. Okay. Got singing lessons today. Old Bolt. I have been taking singing lessons. I had a really funny exchange with the teacher because I've been singing for a long time, and of course I do all those breathing exercises all the time. And after like the second lesson, she was like, "So, what do you need me for?" And I told her that part of it is like that Brian is going to be taking lessons too, and okay, so that dries to a pretty yellow, and that like we could work on some stuff together, but also that like I would just like to push myself up a little higher and softer, and then down a little lower and crunchier on the two different ends, because I can do high clean and I can do high crunchy, but I can't do high and soft. You know what I mean? Like opera, then I can do stuff like Janis Joplin, but I can't do like curly. Anyway, that's what I'm going to be doing. And then she told me that I have 3.5 octaves still, so that's nice, but I have been working on it. Okay, we're going to do, that was my blood testing. There we go. Something different. Is this bright? Is this too bright? It's definitely the wrong color, but I don't care. Actually, it probably is the right color. My stuff is different. Running out now. Goodbye. I'm glad that I found the actual thing that I was looking for. I did find the thing I was looking for. So I'm gonna put this with this, but only because I could use a little sturdiness for this project. And I'm too lazy to find something else. In fact, I'm so lazy that I'm going to grab this packet that I made yesterday. And I pre-cut some tape so that I could be extra lazy later. Life hacks with Belinda. Tape hacks with Belinda. Hacking tape with Belinda. Oh, okay. Let's just hinge it. good enough. It's not gonna be too bad. I just need a little bit of stress. A little bit of less stress. Okay. Part of what I'm doing is I'm gonna reconstitute this shit because it costs all my money. Here's what we're gonna do. We're going to start with Wasser. Eine Pipette. Wasser. Move this over here. We are the pipettes and we'll get you very wet. Let's do 3. I probably need more than that, but 3 is enough for now. You ever do that? You ever cut it and it's still not the right amount? You know what? I don't fucking care. Give me a break. God, I want to eat that so bad. Come on, intrusive thoughts, go away. Oh, it's still so soft. At this point, does everyone just think I'm doing random stuff? Because it probably seems like it. I'm truly not. I have a method for everything. You'll see in just a moment. It just doesn't make sense right now. Because there's a lot of prep work involved in mixed media that a lot of people don't know about because you never get to see any of it because people are more professional than me. But I like for people to see the process of everything that I do if I can, because it's a lot easier to recreate if you know exactly how I did it and I don't explain, because I'm not going to explain. This is just so much easier to just show it. Okay, so I think hopefully that's enough water. And I'm just going to start kind of squeezing it around in there, in the water a little bit, just to see what happens. I might melt it with a little glue. I'm pretty sure the binder will come apart, but I think the water will make it whatever. I'm going to put glue in it anyway, but I have to use wood glue. Don't get me wrong, but wood glue is waterproof. Oh my god, look at that. Oh, wait, let me turn the lights down. Yeah. Well, the process is nice because, well, so the nice thing about mixed media is, like, once you start to learn things about what stuff's made of, you can do all kinds of stuff. Because, like, the stuff that I'm going to use to break this down is the same shit that they give you in the makeup that you can put on your face that makes your eyes, like, move around. You know what I'm talking about? Your eye bags or whatever. It's just a glue that shrinks a little. That's all it is. It's basically school glue. That's why it comes off when you put makeup on, or silicone based makeup and primers, because that takes glue off. And almost everybody uses silicone now for everything because they don't know what it does to your skin, because they've been taught that it's cool because it makes you matte. Oh man. Ah yeah, we're gonna be fine. Everything's going to be fine. This is what I needed. But first, the wood glue. So here's the thing. When I was a kid, okay, the reason that I do this, the way that I do this, there's like 5 reasons for it. 1, ADHD, constantly dopamine gaming my brain, which means that if I have an interest that I would like to learn more about, I will keep learning it until I basically know everything about it. And the nice thing is, I can continually add media to my art that I need to learn about. And I can test it to see if it interacts in ways that might be unexpected based on what I know of other supplies. Then I can test it to see how well it holds together and what order I should make it in. So it's like I'm consistently just like testing what I'm using, because it will always come in helpful later. Like I will always end up using the things that I made because it's mixed media and I know how to put it together. And so if I needed to recreate a piece, I might not be able to recreate it exactly, but if I go back and look at my video, I can go, okay, well, I used my paste on that, I used epoxy sculpt on that, and I can tell what it's made out of. usually. And I remember my processes because I got fucking videos. Although I've never, so that's the other part, right? There's dopamine gaming, but also there's a huge difference in between talking about something and doing it and just doing it. It's kind of like when you tell a story, you remember it better. So like if something happened in your day, right? Let's say yesterday, dinner, right? So I could say, yeah, I went to Korean barbecue yesterday for dinner. Or I could say, we went to Korean barbecue yesterday for dinner. I got to see all of my friends. Here's the meats we got. All of those things start to get cemented in my memory because I told it like a story. And so it's the same thing with this. And sometimes I take notes. But just the act of writing the notes down is what works. So like just writing the notes down helps me remember. And that is because you are attaching a different way of thinking to it. So once you start to tell a story, you are running it through a different part of your head. And that's why you remember more. And that's why when I do art stuff, if I don't do this, if I just do stuff, I won't remember. I have done this particular recipe wrong 6 times because I didn't remember the original. Needed wood glue. Guess what I have now? It's wood glue. Oh, I broke it. I broke the wood glue. I pulled it too hard. I'm sorry I haven't used it in 5 years. I don't know if I've ever used this. Is this brand new glue? That would be cool. I get to open it. Nope. New glue. Alright, what do we got? What do we got? You, I sacrifice you. Get out of there. Ugh, this is my favorite thing to do at the frame shop, is to just like fucking clean the wood glue. It's very satisfying to clean the wood glue out of the wood glue tip. Don't ask me why. You get to like pull the little nipple out. Okay, all clean. That goes there. That goes there. It goes on top. It's that kind. Didn't get the chance. So when I was a kid, here's the thing. This is the other reason I do this, is because I used to love that that there were people that would teach people how to do art, right? But the mixed media stuff, a lot of it was you buy this thing and you buy this thing and you buy all this stuff to do this art, because it's like scrapbooking shit, right? And it's like, okay, but that does not actually teach you how to do mixed media. That teaches you how to do collage and use certain types of glue, but it doesn't teach you what mixed media is. More importantly, you shouldn't have to spend a bunch of money to do it. And so I wanted to teach people how to make gesso, and I wanted to teach people how to make, their own, different types of things. And now more people do that. But it's usually something that they're learning, on the fly from someone else, like a tutorial or something. Whereas I'm experimenting and it's like, I can find what works. I can't tell you if it's going to be fully archival, but most of this stuff is craft, so it's totally fine. Like, air dry clay is definitely something that professional artists will use. This is the Japanese kind, Daiso. And it's, people use it. They'll cover it with epoxy sometimes. Everybody loves epoxy, but I'm allergic to the UV kind. Like real bad. So I can't use that kind. And then I can do... Now, this is really lumpy. I could run it through it like a sieve, but I think I'm just going to keep doing this for a few minutes. Just kind of squashing it around. Watch me squash this stuff around. I'm going to knock my water over. Anyway, it feels nice. You want to hear it? You hear it? Anyway, yeah, I like to teach the process as I go along because it helps me remember. Teaching helps you remember. That's why, like, if you work at a job and they teach you how to do something and, they ask you to teach somebody else, part of that is so you remember. Because you literally break it down in a different part of your head. Like, I probably wouldn't have remembered that I make this with wood glue correctly if I hadn't thought about it to talk about it. And go, oh yeah, what do I make this with once I reconstitute it? Normally I don't have to reconstitute it. I don't know why that dried out. So I didn't deal with that. Okay, so we need more water. This needs to not be... it's fine. Okay, now you'll get to see what I do with it. I'm going to let this sit and get wetter for a little while, and then I'm going to actually take it and I'm going to put it on a piece of plastic, and I'm just going to like scrape it and I might do that here. You'll see. Or a piece of glass, you know, whatever. Whatever's clever. So, back to this crazy blue that doesn't quite look like that. And this I'll deal with later. It's going to be a mess. Let's do this. Now, once I make these things, they don't last that long all the time because they do have glue in them, and sometimes the glue will dry out. So I prefer to only make it this stuff that I've been making every once in a while, because if I'm not going to use it immediately, it's just wasted time, and it's, as you can tell, quite a bit of wasted time. Normally I don't have to do that part of it, like reconstitute it, but it's still a whole thing. Paint eye here. Alright, now I'm going to take my dinosaur bag and my really nice brushes. Actually, you know what? I probably have it in here. It's probably in here. So, ow. No, I do have these though. That's fine. And you'll notice these are sculpting tools, because they are sculpting tools. So, here's what I do with these. I make shapes these are very lightweight. They basically weigh nothing. So they're very nice to use on different kinds of paper, art that you don't want to weigh down. Mixed media, really nice for mixed media, but I've got flowers and petals and just all kinds of different things that I can make into plants. I've got some mushroomy type stuff. But basically, I put these out on a piece of plastic and I let them dry, and then I lightly take them off and put them in little bags. That way, when I want to make something, I can do it. And then I can also take the clay and I can, you know, put it into the paper. So because this is paper and because this has glue in it, what I can do is, let's see, let me pick some shapes. That one. Maybe something like that. Let's do that. Now, I have something to make. I have a thing to do. All thanks to you. What if? Because I just made a bunch of shapes that are kind of different. Let me take this one. One thing I really like about mixed media, especially, is that you don't always know where things are going to head. You know, you can have an idea and then think, oh, well, I'm going to try this. I don't even remember what's in this bag. And it's like, oh, once you see the bag, you could have an idea that you never would have had if you didn't look at the materials, which is, you know, kind of a fun. Is that how flowers work? I don't know. Does it have to be a real flower? It doesn't have to be. Nothing has to be anything. You can do what you want. It's your show. So if you can't tell what I'm doing, I'm building them up, and that's kind of the idea for this, is that you can make sculptural elements with just something so lightweight. You don't have to worry about it. You could put this in a journal. You could make it, and it's quite sturdy, believe it or not, because there is PVA in it. There is glue in it that has the word vinyl. Vinyl means stretches. It means stretches. It means stretches. But the reason that I came up with this stuff is because I was making a whole lot of little tiny things like this for my polymer clay. And to be able to use stuff like that, I have to have a much sturdier surface. And I wanted things to be lightweight, so because I do make a lot of paper art, and I wanted to use them for paper. And I wanted to use them for my journals, because I just don't need my journals to have a bunch of polymer clay in them. Okay, I will figure out. I'll just forget words for a minute. Here's the coolest part of this. Assuming I made these correctly, which may not be the case, is I'm gonna start. That's too pretty. You know what? That's fine, because I'm gonna take it down. So here's what I'm gonna do. First off, regular old school glue. So here's the thing about PVA. A couple things you can actually. Here's the other thing. Nobody ever tells you about PVA. The vinyl in it means that you can actually sometimes heat it up, and heating it up will kind of melt it a little bit, but that can also turn it into an adhesive. So if you take, say, a glossy Mod Podge, or a glossy, like a high gloss heavy gel, which is actually, they make this like glue that you can buy that's for miniatures and scrapbooking stuff. It's literally gloss gel. So like gloss heavy gel you can use as a glue with heat, which means that it can be reversible. And for anything you want to make that's archival, this is acid free, and if the heat isn't going to damage what you're doing it with, that means you could even use it for, say, example, I wanted to wrap a canvas around some wood. This would not only protect it from the wood, but I could do it by heat pressing it instead of letting it go into the canvas wet. And what that would do is it makes it removable, because all you have to do is hit it with heat again. Okay, so now the glue will hold it a little. That doesn't matter. The glue will hold it a little bit. Sometimes I'll do like a double-sided tape. But if this was correct, if I did this correctly, all I should need is a little bit of water and a paintbrush, which I'm not using the paintbrush right now. So I'm going to let this get kind of wet. And basically, once it starts to do so, I'm going to start blending it into the paper, hopefully. And that's how this works. So I'm going to get this part wet. And I can use the wood glue, will make it a little bit, it makes stuff a little sturdier, but I'm pretty sure I made these with PVA, so they should melt a little. And if they don't, that's fine. They'll still stick down. But PVA will melt PVA, and so will water if it's wet. Is that too bright still? I don't know why it's being so crazy. Can you see? Can you even see the texture? You know what? I have an idea. Let's do this. That's not better. Let me see. Let me do this. Let's do a white balance real quick. White balance? Who's she? Alright, white balance time. No, let me click the button. Okay, that should do it. Nope. You know what? I think I'm going to have to just do the white balance and then change the other stuff. I actually think I might have to quit soon. I'm starting to get nauseated from the looking up and down. Yeah, I can't change the... At least I got it closer to the right color. Okay, there. Oh, well, it doesn't matter too much. So, if this is wet, hopefully I can just pull on it and it will start to melt. I don't want to do it a lot, but I do want it to stick. So, like, it can have stuff go under it and on top of it. Normally I do this on white paper, so if you see it on white paper, my guess, or lighter paper, my guess is that you'll be able to see. Maybe not. You just can't see the texture when it's laying straight down. That's probably why. So I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do it with this glue like that. Wet it down a little. The wetter the better, which is why I also do this on watercolor, because you get a lot of surface texture, and it loves water. And I try to follow like whatever the top is doing. So like if that one's popped up, then I'll pop it over it, because that one has like that little bit of natural curve. But that's the other thing about the water that's nice, is you can get it wet and you can kind of mold it a little so that once it lays against that, it won't be as harsh and it's less likely to break. So you're essentially kind of just reforming it a little, which is the great thing about the water. The water.
I'm heading out.
Okay, bye heading out. I'm Dad.
Okay, Dad. See you after a bit.
Okay. I'm going to put that one over just because I felt like it. But I did get it wet. That one wasn't as, that one's, the whole piece will start to kind of move together. Oh, there we go. See, that one did it. There you go. Can see what it does. I can start getting down into that color and reshaping some of it. Yeah, there we go. And you get a little more depth, and you get it to blend more, which makes it stick better. Do that. So what I need is some gluey water, because the glue is what's breaking it down more. Now that's going to kind of fuse them real well. Come here, you. All right. And if I do this, once this dries a little more and I do it with a watercolor brush, it'll look a lot nicer, but I'm not really trying to make that part look nice because it's going to be covered anyway. I just want to show what it can do. And if you get the wetter clay, you use way less water. It's so much easier. But I put it in a little tiny pipette, but not pipette, a little tiny like baker's bag. I'm gonna get that wet, real wet. Is that what it's called? A baker's bag? A icing, little tiny icing bags that I make out of Mylar. You can make them. You can use like little plastic bags, but some of that. Put it down there. I really want to melt that down because I need to make a nice anchor for this because it's very thin. There we go. And now squish it in. I'm just gonna press that into the gluey area because there's not much in there. So I'm gonna kind of build it up. I like doing this too. Kind of pop it, make little designs that way too. So you can make like little designs in it once it starts to dry. Hello, how are you? Do I want to put a little circle in it? Can I cut it down into like a little oval, maybe? Yeah, I was making little pieces like this out of polymer clay for a long time, and it just got like so heavy after a while, and I stopped. I decided I needed something not that. Should I make it real big? Real thick? I don't know. I don't know. So the other thing is that essentially what I'm making here is the same stuff that's in this bag. So when I make this and I have the piping bag, I also use this as glue and as a 3D substance. So I'm going to take a little bit of it. It's not perfect yet, but it will work. So if I take this and I decide this is what I want, this is where I want these things, which, you know, this is just a test, it doesn't matter. I just happen to have this blue paper. So this is kind of cottage cheesy right now, but it doesn't matter. So I'm going to just put it in here. And if it looks like it's a different color, that's because these other ones are dry. Oh, you cannot tell it all from there. Okay. So it's wet and it's chunky, but it's wet and it will sit there. And the nice thing about it is as it dries, it will stay pretty three-dimensional. It'll shrink a little, obviously, but that makes for a anchor, a good anchor. So if I want to put another piece here, now it's anchored with that. So it's a thicker, think of it like, I can't think of anything like wet concrete. What is similar? What's the same that you would put things together with? What if I... Also, you can just cut your shapes however you want. You don't have to have it. You don't have to have it any particular way. And the nice thing is if you make too sharp a cut, you can get it wet and kind of finesse it a bit. Finesse it a bit. You can go there. See, like this. It's also very tearable, which is nice because you can get like kind of keep those nice edges if you want to. It's just a nice material. It's fun. It works pretty well for this. And one more. I made so many of these. Let's see. And it's easy, yeah. So I just put these on like the little cutting boards that I use for everything. They're clear. Let's see, do I have one over here? Do I have 600 over here? So I use these for almost everything, but I can, I put like the clay stuff on there, let it dry, and then I pop it off. I use these to cut up to use for stuff. Like, I don't remember what I made with this, to be honest. It was probably important because I don't like to cut these up. I use it as back spatter, obviously. Sometimes I use it to pack my art with so that it doesn't bend. It's very useful. You can also roll it and then it doesn't bend your art as well. Okay, so too big. We weren't paying attention to size. We made things wrong. We were unwise. We don't know what we're doing. Ah, there we go. That's the right shape. Let's do this. Now, they're like this way, but we're going to do this way first. And then this. Okay. So now, because I am going to add 2 petals, so see how there is a hello? How there is, see, there's like a space there. I don't know if you can see. See, there's kind of a space there, right? Where this petal and this petal are, and this one actually too, are going to make a problem, right? Because there's not going to be enough stuff. So that's what this is for. Add some more of that. Bloop. And I'm going to do there, the middle, and then there. And this will make a little stand. You can also, if you have the clay of this, you can make like little, like if you haven't done this with the clay, because you don't see, that one's going to be, there's going to be like a little bit there too, so I'm just going to add a little bit. And so what that'll do is that just, it's just like putting a, you know, I don't know if you ever make 3D art, but it's like putting a little stand behind something. Just making sure that you have it, at the very least, anchored in the middle. Because this will be sturdy, but you don't want them to blow in the wind or anything, because it'll just fall apart. But it's not really what that's for. So if I just jam that, grab a little of it and jam it on there. Actually, I'm going to get this wet a little bit. And I can just kind of press it in there, and it, you know, it's probably going to press out a little. I don't, like right there. I don't know if you can see where it is in there. That's fine. Perfect. As good as it gets for rock and roll. Where did I? Is that the one I just cut? It probably is. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That's how it works. But I did. Is it this one? Nope, it's not that one. Did I lose it? Me and my cat 600 times a day. You know, it doesn't matter. None of it matters. So that one, do a new one. That is the thing about these two, is they're super easy to lose because you can breathe wrong and they fly across the room. Too big. So what I would normally do when I make something like this is I would take the stuff in a little bag, and I would pipe, you know, something down below it to make like a little stem and a little leaf. I have some leaves too, I think, somewhere. Actually, yeah, I have leaves as well. A couple different kinds. So that. And these can also be leaves depending on the plant. The kind of plant which I make. Blue, just a tiny bit. Just gonna press that down, kind of blend that all together and fuse it, essentially. More water. I actually do this with my fingers a lot. I don't know why I showed it with that thing. It's easier to do with my fingers because I can get at the texture and get the amount that I want. Okay, so. Pop that on there. Then we'll use the tool for this part. So that went down further than I would like. I'm going to use a little bit of the excess here. Fill that up a little more. That's what I would use this for, is to jam some in there. And it's probably because I put it in there and got it real wet. So yeah, it just needs to go behind it a little more. I want to really build it up so that it's sturdy in the middle, because I did 3 layers. Normally I would not do 3 layers, and if I was doing, like, say, mushrooms, I would put, because I like making little mushrooms, I would put the, that dry a bit. Yeah, that's good. Actually, that's better. Let's do that. That's safer, because if it's bend in like that, and then it dries, and then it bends like that, it's more likely to pop these off. But if it dries like this, where it's like popped up off of it a little bit, then it's going to dry how it's supposed to be. I'm going to actually push this up so that it more mimics the shape of this. I like that. I don't know, there's some flowers that look like that, I'm sure. You know, where it's more like a side angle, so you like see a little more at the top. You know what I'm talking about? It doesn't matter. It doesn't, nothing I say matters. It's fine. There. Scooch them together a little more. Yeah, I don't know much about flowers. Also me. There are flowers like this. I think there are. I probably know more about flowers without my consent than I think I do. Just from learning how to make petals and stuff. Painting them especially. So I went from like painting to doing this, which is fun. This is a nice thing to do like around this time of year, kind of springy. So the nice thing about this as well is it will take watercolor paint, but you have to be very, very careful with it. You can also like hit it with some spray, which I don't, every time I've tried to paint with it, it's just not as pretty to me. You can also put color in it and use it as color, which is okay. It just, for some reason, the whole reason I started doing this stuff, even with my other stuff with the clay, is I wanted it to look like a cameo. So you know how cameos have like, they're on a dark color and then they have like the white. I wanted that. So like that was the main thing that I was going for. So now that I have this, right, all of these are kind of bonded together. I'm going to take a wet ball tool and I'm actually going to press down into this, and I really want them all to start like meshing together in the middle. And then if it gets all the way down to the middle, that's fine. I'm probably not going to try to do that, but I want it to really do that. I want to turn it into one piece. The animate. Because that'll make it sturdier, and then I can also put, you know, I can put more in the middle now and fill it up. Fill her up, baby. And that'll be nice. That'll be good. That'll be good. Could be good. Could be nice. Could be fun. But yeah, you can watercolor them, you can draw on them carefully. If you hit them with after they've been made, if you hit them with something waterproof, like a fixative or a matte finish, you can paint them with acrylic. The nice thing is you can hit the front of them with something waterproof and you can still blend them using the back of them first, and then once they dry you can paint on them, as long as you seal it when you're finished. I could technically seal this, so like I could like go around quickly and put, you know, some kind of gloss coat on it or matte coat on it, and then I could paint it however I wanted to. It would be a pain in the ass nightmare to do it at this point with all of these layers, but I've done that before. I did this. I painted all this at the same time, and that was stupid. I shouldn't do that, because it's like you have to get inside of those little holes. I mean, you don't have to, but I do, because everything is a thing. Everything has to be whatever way, or else I get freaked out. So yeah, I have a bunch of other shapes too that I would use these for maybe a different kind of flower, or I would use these when you make mushrooms. You can put like there's like a little skirt under them sometimes. This just is random lacy things. I have no idea what's in here. Hello? Nothing. That's nice. And then got these things as well, which are like the kind of fun looking sea spongy things. I think I have more than this actually, and then there's actual like flower shapes in here too, but I didn't want to do just a flower shape. Yeah, and so once this part dries, then I can build on top of it this stuff. I bit my lip and it sucks. It sucks a lot. My nerve endings are so fucky right now. Okay. So this was, okay, so on the list here, we got air dry paste, demonstration, paste clay. Didn't do blacklight stuff. My head's too bad for that. That's a good start. That's a good start on projects. I got 2 things worked on. I tested this stuff to make sure it still works. Demonstration. I made some new paste. Here's the thing. I got 8 boxes of this stuff. I didn't need to do it this way. But that's how I am. There's 3 reasons I wanted to use the old stuff. 1, I hate wasting money. 2, I like a challenge. And 3, the kind of challenges I don't like are opening drawers. And these are in a bottom drawer behind 6 bins and a cart. So I just don't want to get in those drawers. So I can do this all night long, and I can mush it up, and I can mush it. And so here's the thing. If it's too wet, I can add more because I have more, and it's definitely dry enough. Here's the other thing that you can do, and this is kind of fun, but it's also kind of messy. But we're going to do it because the kind of fun part is more fun. Here's what I do. Okay, so I'm going to flip this on the not bloody side. Okay. I use this for my blood test. Yeah. My blood test, which is not exactly like real blood color, but I was trying to make it oxidized. I don't know where it went. Anyway, yeah, I have a vial of it somewhere. My blood. Uh-oh, what's that? No idea. Oh, you know what? It's probably a piece of... Oh, I gotta fill my other pen too. I have to do that. Right. Fill the Conklin pen. Fill it now. Fill it, oh, fill. You know, we'll do it this way. It's more fun, and you get a little bit more push. I need the push from this. This is a fun way to do this. It's messy too, so you can't have cats in the room when you do it though. I learned that the hard way. Here's my eyeballs. You know what I like to do with these? Alright. Do I have a bigger one? Hello. Hello, all of my friends. So I need this one. This is the one. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Where's your lid? Where's your lid, ma'am? Where did it go? Where did your lid go? Where did it go, ma'am? Did I put it? There it is. I knew I put it somewhere I could get it. There we go. Put that away. Okay, one more thing to grab. We need to grab one more thing. Where is it? I just made it. Where is it? I need some water, actually. It's so bright. I don't get it. It is not bright in here at all. That's weird. You know what it is? It's this. That's what. I'm stupid. It was reflection. Wow. Okay. If you don't like the sound of parallax, leave. You will not like this. I'm letting you know now, so you don't get mad at me. I just made you. Where did you go? You didn't make it either. I just put it in a bag. There it is. Okay, cool. This is the fun way. This is a fun way to make it. This is how I usually make it while I'm working, because I can come back to it every few minutes. I usually don't have to do this much work though. Like I said, I don't always have to reconstitute it. So I'm just gonna mush this around a bit. And this one I'm actually not gonna use wood glue and I'm gonna use PVA. Wood glue is more water soluble and it makes it a little bit yellow. And it was all yeller. It was all yeller. Okay. This is probably enough. I have to be careful because it'll get a lot of places and I don't want it to get too crazy too fast. So first things first is I'm going to spritz PVA. Okay. A little wet. Not too wet. A little glue. There. I wondered where that went. Stuck to the glue. Now, I actually keep multiple gallons of glue in the room for my projects that require glue. I don't know why I'm using this one. It's because the same reason as the other reasons I don't do certain things while I'm streaming. And that is, I don't want to get under my desk and dig out a gallon of glue. I feel like I shouldn't have to do that if I don't want to, because I have some glue right here. In future, Belinda will just fill that up. Where did I put the pipettes? Good news, I got more. Okay. I think that's enough. Alright, ready? This is going to be real messy. It's going to get messy pretty quick. We're just going to go down into it. If you want, I can even put the so I'm trying to kind of mush it, but also keep it together. Also, you can use it like this. Like how it is right now, you can use it as a paste and it will absolutely stick to what you want it to. You can use this in so many ways. So like I could use this right now as my underlayment if I needed to make something that was three-dimensional. Like if I wanted to make, let's say I wanted to make a mushroom, I could absolutely kind of thicken a piece up here. And then I can put my mushroom head like right on top of it, and that would be totally fine how it is. But I like to mix it up a lot because I like it. I'll make like thinner and thicker versions, and then I put them in different pipettes. Because sometimes I want it thinner because I want it to melt when I'm putting it on, and sometimes I want it thicker because I want it to just support or to be more sculptural. Because I do sculpt with this too. Like I don't just make shapes and add them later. I sculpt with it in real time. A lot. It just takes a lot of work. But it's kind of fun, so. I have a flatter one of these, like the cake kind, but it is very thick right now, so it's not the easiest to do with that because it's very big. Okay, now more water. Now if I had put as much water as I intend to use in this, at first, it would just slosh all over the place, and you don't want that. Kind of like making bread or pasta. Sometimes you don't want to add all the water at once. You want to go a little at a time until you get the right texture. You never know what'll happen. It'll be weird and lumpy too long, and it's hard to deal with. It's so sticky. It's like the best amount of sticky if I wanted to use it is under limit. Now I can do double. Once it softens up, I can use this one. See, this one's a little more bendy. So I can't use it for the first part, but I can use it for this part. And I can switch back and forth. Ooh, that's kind of a fun. So you can make like a shape like this. Let's try that actually. Let's push some of that over there. And the nice thing about this is you can create so much softness because it'll just come right off. So if I wanted to, I could make a shape that does this. Start there. And then would wet this ever so slightly. And only because I wouldn't want it to be like sticking to it too much. So I'd wet a little more than that. So this is the kind of thing I would do in real time if I was working with it. But yeah, the wetter it is, it'll kind of zhuzh stuff together, and you can. So like this would absolutely just dry like this, and I could use it once it dries if I wanted to, or I could just make it real time on paper and it'll blend. It's cool. Now I've got three is too many, but it was in my hand already. It's bigger. It's the biggest one, the big end, the most big. Makes a heck of a sound if you can hear it up close. It's like air dry clay paste. Looks like icing. Tastes like glue. Actually, this is probably non-toxic. I'm not going to eat it though. I don't want to eat any glue. So there is a kind of art that is very similar to this that uses these kind of tools, that is three-dimensional, but it is done with plaster, which I have actually done that kind of art. But plaster is heavy, and plaster is so heavy that it is prohibitive on the kind of art I'm trying to do. So this is also based on plaster art. So if you have it the right texture, then you can sculpt it the exact same way. The difference is it can be much stickier. So you either want it really sticky like this because I'm making it to stick to each other, or you can make it more watery and it will just dry. Because like I want to be able to stick things to each other later and melt the glue. But if you're just building it out, you don't have to do that. But it will be very cool. So this is probably way smoother. It's not perfectly smooth, So sometimes what I'll do at this point is if I don't get it like perfect smooth, is I'll put it in a bag, and then I'll run a bone folder over the bag for like a while. I can just keep doing this, but it'll eventually get that way. Also, I can make it wetter and then let it dry a little. So if I want to get it really, really smooth, again, I never have to reconstitute this stuff. This is the first time I've done it this way. It does come smooth. Like when you buy it, it's already smooth. So you don't usually have to do this much work to get it to one texture. It just becomes one texture much more quickly. I still make it like this because it's just faster than the bag method. And it's more, I can tell when it's more uniform as well because I can see it. But I've done them both ways and they were fine. This is a very, very frosty. A little bit more water. I don't want it to be too thick that I can't squeeze it out later. Yeah, that's fine. That is the nice thing about this, is I can let it dry a little. It dries very fast. It is paper. It's just paper and glue. That's all it's in it. That's why it melts like this. It's just paper and glue. That's why it smells like glue. Just paper and glue. That's why it smells like paper. It's just paper and glue. That's why it tastes like glue. I actually don't eat. I don't think I've ever tasted glue. Maybe not. Maybe on accident. Probably have. I've had the flavor of starch glue before, but only because that was an accident, I think, too. Or like my mom had me taste it or something. Paste. Starch paste. It's not my thing. Oh, that's an interesting shape. Let's see what I could do with something like that. Make a little shell. Now, something that thick would take a while to dry, but it's doable. Get off. Can I? Can I have it? Can I have it go there? Thank you. Yeah, that could be something. Like if I wanted it to be. Take a little brush, a wet brush, then clean it up, make a shape, let it dry. Now, normally, if I was going to make something like that, I would make it on the piece. But the nice thing is too, like say I do like that shape, but also, what if I wanted to change it? Now I got a wet brush, and this is how this stuff works. So I can create shapes, and I can create amount of meltiness depending on how much water I use. So if I wanted to make something pretty, I can kind of bring the shapes around together, and because it is PVA, I can keep pushing on it and stretching it and pulling it, and so it's not brittle. And because of that, I can make more and more designs in it while it's wet without worrying about it breaking apart the way that paper clay does. So I don't know if you can see that, but so I can make different types of shapes. I could even press it out. It wasn't wet enough. So I'll press it out. And the better the watercolor brush, the better this works. This is not a watercolor brush. I didn't get one out for this. I have a special set that I use for this because it does have glue, and I don't want to, technically I don't want to ruin them, even though it's pretty safe. Basically, you can cut it with water, and you can reshape anything how you want. So if I want to thin it out, if you don't like something, you can just get it wet, and you can mush it right back in with its family. So it's the nice thing about it. I love it. It's great. Okay, I think this is a pretty good texture. I kind of want it ever so slightly. I do have to pipe it just slightly. I guess this can be the glue. This can be the glue. Glue. This isn't a very big bag, but that's okay. Don't have a lot to put in there. That way it can also still be chunky, and that would be fine. If this is the glue, can be the foundation stuff. That's fine. So then I gotta make another version that has a lot more water in it. And that can be the melty stuff. And also the fine detail stuff, which is nice. Because you can get really nice fine details when you thin it out. Like really fine, like less than 3/32 of an inch. Nice and thick. Yeah, very smooth. This one, different. Now this one I could technically do the same thing with. I don't care that much. Alright, let me do the last of it. Might as well, because I still have some. Let me grab one more bag. I got plenty of bags. I'll just mess with the other one and get the bumps out all night with my hands. It'll give me something to do. 'Cause technically, I can put this back in the same bag. But this will last me the rest of the year, as long as I don't let any of it dry out and I keep all of it in bags. It also depends on the glue. Some of the glues will dry out. Sometimes I put acrylic binder in these because I think I'm going to paint them so that they become like waterproof. But I wonder if I could just take this and like do a squeeze like a sponge and just, nope, that is, no, we won't do that. I thought I could like put it, see if I could squeeze it like a sponge, but I can also cut it. Oh no, hit me in the lap. There's a bunch of stuff that I can do. Let's do this. All right. Really? Let's do this. Come on, babe. This one's going to have slightly less glue per amount of stuff. And we're going to do wet hands. Let's do it this way. Might as well, since the one hand's already wet. I might get stuff on it, I don't care. Okay. Now, it's going to start melting and it's going to be very sticky for a minute. Doesn't want to hold because it's not wet enough, so let's do more wet. Gross looking, huh? It's fun though. It's fun ways to make it. No. But Belinda, it's all over your hands. Just remember, just paper and glue. Technically, I could make like paper out of this. Just put it in a blender and then do it that way. Okay. When it is the right consistency, it should just roll off my hands. But I'm not going to wait for that, so I'm just going to do this. I'm going to get my fingers wet. Maybe not. I won't get my fingers wet yet. Not yet. Like sticks to like, but it likes my fingers too. Like sticks to like, 'cause not wet enough. This is basically the texture that I want. Okay, that's good. But Belinda, it's getting worse. That's okay. We're making paste. Ugh, get that in there. Need more water. So we're about like, we're basically where the other glue is, but with less water so far. Lots of water. More water. Because right now, what's sticking to my hands is the glue, and so I need the glue, I need the water to out, I need the water to out stick the glue. I needed the water to break everything down and make it more creamy. This is a lot for today. This is a lot of mess. That's good though. Sometimes you make a mess. All right. Very cool. I'm going to get most of it off of one hand, and then I can get more water this way. Now, I don't make icing this way, but I do make pasta this way. With my fingers, with my hands. I make bread this way too. Patisseries. Alright. Patisserie? Bakery? Okay. Okay. Nice and gloopy. This is good enough to start the next part. What'd you say? No, it's like bread. Yeah, it's like bread now. Well, it is much closer to certain types of bread for sure. All usable. Alright, I need that to be wetter and not go other places, so I'm just gonna have to do that. Thank you. Maybe we won't have it that thin anywhere on there. That doesn't need to be a visual. Okay, try to get the rest of it. Not too bad. All right. Grody to the max. Actually, I don't mind it. There are certain textures that I really hate on my fingers. Glue is not one of them. Well, some kinds of glue I don't like touching my fingers, but this kind is not a problem. All right, I think that's good. Goonies. Good enough. I need the water too, so it works out. Okay. So sideways. The best part of this is when it dries. If there's any left, it just flakes right off. All right, good enough. How much more water am I gonna need? Glad I got this done. I like doing this in the spring, so it'll be good to have this chore out of the way. And I won't dig into my new stuff that way. I probably will anyway. I'll probably make a batch with the newer stuff, but I've never had it dry out on me like this. Like in the package before I opened it, unless I had it. Maybe I had like a tiny hole in it or something that I don't know about. Let's do this way instead. Cottage cheese. It's cottage cheese time. The curdiest, the hurdy-gurdiest, the dirtiest cheese. Curds and whey, they say, but what is the way? We don't eat that. Does the whey make the whey the cheese? There we go. Nice and fluffy. See how it's fluffier than the other one? There's not as much glue in it. Excuse me. Oh my God. Okay, sorry. Just mixing the water in right now so that it doesn't go everywhere. Folding it in. Non accendere. You can also already tell it's a little different texture. But I need it to be thinner still. Thinner. You know, it occurs to me that I could have a mixer that I do this with. Or something like that. I do have... I could get a cheap mixer. I could even probably get one at like free on Craigslist or something. Use it to make stuff like this would be safe enough. The nice thing about something like this too is that if you did use a blender, you could make this yourself out of paper. You could recycle your paper and make it this. You could make this. You could use craft paper, bags. You could use cardboard. If you have clean cardboard with no adhesives on it, you can absolutely turn it into clay. And there are a lot of channels that'll teach you how to do that. I haven't done it in a long time. But it's like, if you can imagine paper mache, instead of just that, you can make a paper mache paste. I think there's actually a lady on YouTube that makes a paper mache clay out of toilet paper. So you even use toilet paper to make a clay. Which I wouldn't do that necessarily because I would rather recycle. But I could understand why that would be helpful because you don't have to blend it. I think you can just tear it apart and do it that way. But her way of doing that I think does require cooking her, I think she uses starch paste, which I totally good, that's fine. There's so many ways you can make stuff like this. I could even add vinyl to this, to like vinyl spackling, and it would make it more rubbery, more sturdy, and more waterproof. And it wouldn't hurt anything because PVA can blend right into the vinyl spackling because of the PVA is vinyl, polyvinyl acetate, and it won't mess up anything. God, it's too much. It's just too much. Some of it can go over here. Talk to you later, okay, guys? It's a lot of work. Would you like to have an arm cramp today? Sure you would. How well does this lay? Let's find out. If I was going to actually sculpt with this, about medium. A little more. More! You can see it thinning out there where it's wet. And again, I don't care if it's got little bumps in it. I don't care a little bit. If it's a little bit, it doesn't matter. If I had a pest, like a, whatchamacallit, this would be easier. I can't think of the word we used to make paint with. I should have, I've had one before, I just don't know where it is. A glass, not a pestle. But like it, like a pestle. A grinder? No, I don't know what it's called. Paint mixer? Yeah, that's good. I have one because I used to make paint. And I have raw pigment. Raw! Because that's what you use to make paint. It's fluffy. I don't make this every year because what a chore. What a chore that would be. Okay, so this is a pretty good texture. I'm still going to work on the other one, but I can put them together and blend them in the bag the rest of the way. Now it gets this one out of the way, and then I can decide if I even want to do that, if I want to make them two different textures. Yeah, I still got some of them. That's fine. This is fine. That one isn't though. There we go. Okay. This is the stronger one. It's fine, I'll just do it this way. Nope. Yeah, see how it's thinner. Yep, I knew that was gonna happen. So normally I do this with a plastic spatula, but that is in t'other room. And again, this does not matter if it's messy. It is okay. See? I need house packing tape, which I believe is in the other room, to actually make the baggie. But I might do that later after I mix it all up. That might be a tomorrow thing. Maybe I can show it. I guess that one works better for that. There's a bigger surface at the bottom than the top. Bit. Just the wet part. So normally, if I was making paint, for example, my glass would be smooth, but my grinding tool would be textured like this. But it's kind of the opposite with this. Just do this. It's dirty. Hit it with some water. Just clean it off. Pretty smooth. Much better than the other one. And then I will make one more. This one, and just mess with it in the bag if I need to. I don't always make a mess. Just sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. That has color in it. That's I'm not using that. Okay. Okay. Now, maybe I'll do a quick test. I don't know where the stuff is, but see how I was saying it comes right off? Just comes off my skin, just like that. All right. It is all over my clothes though, which is fun. All right. Good. I'm gonna use this. I don't know where my bone folder is, so I'm making do. Okay. And normally I pipe this out of a bag, so just trying to get shape. So normally when I start carving into this, I would have let it dry just a little bit, but it also depends on what I want, how soft I want these shapes to be. So like if I was just blending it into the paper and I was just trying to make like say a background design, because I do that sometimes with these, where I'll just make like shapes in the background and then lay things over them. They're supposed to be random. Then that blends kind of nice, just right into the paper. Because guess what? It's made out of the same thing the paper is usually, although in this case, these aren't made out of cotton. They're made out of probably wood pulp, but this watercolor paper is 50-50. 50-50, so it is partially made out of the same thing. You can change the shape and the direction of things however you want. Let's see. Just kind of a shape, just a random shape. Could be more like a leaf, I guess, or more like maybe separated. So like if this was a leaf and this was something another one maybe behind it. And it could go, this one was kind of behind or under it. This could go like that. I usually hit my hands with it first just to make sure it's not too wet, that it doesn't bring down the size. And this is all going to depend too. So like this is the kind of medium thin one. You can see it has like a peak on it. But this other one is the super thick one. Where is it? Here. So this is the really thick one. So it will behave differently. It'll be a lot stickier. So it will take more water to manipulate. But it'll stay taller and it won't melt as much. So if I wanted to make something tall and kind of leave that shape there, and blend it down. Once that dries, it would stay tall like that. Whereas these will fall a little bit, and it will make a nice, let's say I do this and I just press slightly. That is massive. But you could see how if I was making, say, a small flower, but I wanted it to be tall, I swear, if you don't give me this piece, I'm going to flip out. Okay. If I wanted it to be tall, and still, these are different colors because these have wood glue in them. See that? That is the trick. I would put that like that maybe, and then use it to anchor those pieces. And you can kind of see how that works. Also, like I said, they dry a little bit yellower anyway, but these have wood glue in them. That's how you can tell the difference between these and those. Between these and those. And they're fine to use together. I probably won't use them together, but you can see how that would work. And because it's thicker, I can also go back in and I can make the shape a little bit more similar. I want to, but I could also get this real wet and make them like little stamen, just depending on like how the thicker stuff will take more movement, and then once it dries a little bit you can kind of carve into it even with pokey tools. So I would do like, this is something I really like to do. Not that. Hello? Hello? Where is my all? I gave it. I gave it my all. Oh, there it is. So I would do, of course you're not going to be able to see this on this, but you'd see it on the blue. Kind of poking it into it to form it together. And then I can get this wet as well and make more ruffly type shapes with it, which again I would need to dry but you can kind of tell what I'm doing. All right, I'm gonna let this stuff dry, and just, let's see, I'll just do something with this while it's on here. Wet finger. Put my hand right in that, didn't I? Make something with a bunch of bumps on it, see how it dries. Use it for something later. Then when that dries a little bit, I'll play with it some more. I'll let that dry. Oh, you can't even see it. Okay. And I'll be back. I gotta rest before my music thing. And then I'll mess with that later. I'm gonna go find something to eat because I haven't eaten today. Everything's fine now. Everything can go this way. Everything can move over here now. Let's go. It's fine. All right. I'm gonna go. I'll see you later. Let's look outside for a minute. I gotta clean off the deck. I miss my raccoons so much. The poor babies. I'll be okay, I guess. I hope. Alright. I'll see you later. Bye. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, practice. Yeah. Practice every day. Okay, bye-bye. Bye-bye, 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 bye.